Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you a brand new eyeshadow palette by Natasha Denona. It is the Glam palette. I love it. I love it. I don't love the price. It's £60, but that's what Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes normally retail for. And this is what it looks like. Ooh. Ooh. It's a holiday release. I can't remember. This is basically the new eyeshadow palette that was recently released. I got mine from Selfridges. I don't know other places which are selling it. Hopefully by the time this video goes up I can link it to a couple more places for you guys, but it was a bit of a struggle to get hold of. Kept selling out. But anyway, this has 15 shades altogether. This is a cool toned eyeshadow palette, so completely different to her previous one which came out not long ago, which was the bronze palette, which was completely warm, and she's gone to the complete other side of the spectrum with a cool toned palette, and I'm all here for it. I love the eyeshadows. I love the quality. Natasha Denona never lets us down when it comes to quality eyeshadows, and the way that she arranges them as well, making it so easy for us to use. So like I said, this retails at £60 altogether. The eyeshadow palette itself is in the classic plastic casing that she normally has. Very simple, straightforward. Then you open it up and inside is the 15 eyeshadow pans, as well as a very large and generous mirror. So yes, I will be doing a demo as I always do, and of course that's what I'm wearing on my eyes. I know you guys love this eye look, because if I love it, I know you guys will love it. This is the look that I came up with so that I could demo it for you guys when I do my review. So let's quickly get started on what their claims are from Natasha's website. It says, introducing the ultimate must-have palette featuring 15 brand new cool and neutral shades designed to create a variety of looks, from natural everyday to extreme glam and dramatic smoky eyes. Presenting special insider makeup tips from Natasha Denona herself. Ooh. Each shade is labelled to guide you while creating your look. I'll get onto that in a minute. Since the palette includes the option to pop out and rearrange the shades, I've never done that. I'm too scared. I'm one of those people who will accidentally stick their nail in it. But it's good to know anyway. You can customize your own constellation to suit your preference and skin tone. To be honest, I'm quite happy with the way it's arranged, and again, I'm scared. What it does, it says formulated with crushed pearls and crystals, including varied distinctive textures for seamless blending and maximum color payoff to achieve vibrant, ultra pigmented, long-lasting looks. The shades and formulas were hand designed by world-renowned makeup artist Natasha Denona, made with the highest quality pure color pigments, dazzling chroma crystals, and luminous mineral pearls. Its buttery smooth hydrating eyeshadow formula wears beautifully on any skin type and skin tone. Do I sound like an advert? That's what I thought I sounded like while I was reading it. Cruelty-free, paraben-free, made in Italy. And the total net weight is 19.95 grams. I don't know who wanted to know that, but there you go. And then there is a description about the different types of formulas which are within this eyeshadow palette, and I will go through them when I actually show you the swatches myself. Now, when they are talking about the special insider makeup tips, that each shade is labeled to guide you while creating your look, I am very impressed. Now, I'm sure that I've seen one or two brands do this in the past, but it's not often a brand such as Natasha Denona does something like that. And what she's actually talking about is, for example, this shade over here in the corner is called Center Eyelid. Next to it is called Outer Eyelid. Then we've got Smoke, Blend, Lash Line, Inner Corner, Crease, Transition, Inner Corner, Center Eyelid, Outer Eyelid, Center Eyelid, Outer Eyelid, and Brow Bone. So you can understand what she's tried to do with this is basically for those people out there, especially beginners, who are quite unsure and can be quite daunted by something like this, especially considering it's £60, which is not cheap. So I believe that she obviously understands the market and understands how there are a lot of people out there that can be very intimidated with eyeshadow palettes such as these. So actually in the video that you're going to see today, I have followed the exact steps. So I've done things like use the crease shade in the crease, use the inner corner highlight in the inner corner, use the brow bone shade on the brow bone, just to show you guys how easy it is to come up with so many different looks. Obviously you can mix and match them as you want them, but she's just done that to make it very easy. And you know what, actually that gets an extra mark from me. I think that's really helpful. It's very considerate. She's not fussed about, you know how a lot of brands, they're like, oh, we have to give it this fancy pants names and da-da. Most people ain't gonna remember other than the name of the actual eyeshadow palette itself. So I think it's really helpful the way that she has done like a couple of center shades, you know, a couple of inner corner highlights as well, just to let you guys know that yes, you can use those shades on those areas. Obviously, it's completely up to you. For example, the lash line shade I actually used to smoke out my eye as well as on the lash line. Overall, I think this is an excellent palette. It works beautifully. The shadows are amazing. The matte shades are very, very pigmented. There are 5 matte shades altogether, and then the other ones are a mixture of the crystals and the pearl shades and the metallics and that sort of thing. So it moves from light to dark, which is great. So you can have a very simple crease shade, a natural everyday kind of look. You can smoke it up for the night time, or if you're going out in the evening or that sort of thing, especially as we are coming into the autumn winter season. The ideal kind of palette for the party season. Don't know if we're going to be having any parties, but you can have a party in your bedroom and you can still look good wearing something like this and take photos of yourself and send it to your friends. I do not believe that there is a single eyeshadow in here that has let me down. Now I do have to say that I believe that the majority of this eyeshadow palette would work well with all skin tones. There are 1 or 2 shades which may show up ashy on people with deeper skin tones, but that's only 1 or 2 shades in comparison to the entire 15. So there will still be 13 eyeshadows that work beautifully with your skin tone. Because there are quite a lot of shimmery shades in comparison to matte, shimmery shades will show up on you no matter what your skin tone is. It's just that they may show up slightly different depending on what your skin tone is, but they will still show up because the light will bounce off of the shimmers and therefore you can see it reflected in person. Matte shades, there's only 2 shades which are quite light, like I said, so you should be fine with the rest of the shades. I like the mix of all of the shadows as well. There is definitely something for everybody. It's cool and neutral toned, like she has said. For those people that don't like cool tone palettes, by all means check out the Natasha Denona bronze palette, for example. That's full of warm tones. This is for people who like cool tones, and to be honest, a lot of brands tend to lean always more towards warm tones anyway, just because that's normally what the preference is for a lot of people. So I do like the fact that she has kind of bucked the norm slightly and come up with a fully cool toned and neutral toned palette. Overall, I think this palette is absolutely excellent. Shadows blend beautifully. The color payoff is absolutely excellent. Everything is so pigmented. It lasts super long on the eyes as well. There's literally no negative comment that I've got about this palette at all. You know, it's so funny if you think back to when I bought my first Natasha palette, which was the Love palette, and I hated it. And then I bought the bronze one and I was like, oh my God, I'm in love. And then when I got this, I was like, oh my God, I'm in love again. I love this palette. I think it's so beautiful, and it will work well beautifully to go from daytime to nighttime looks. I've worn this palette to go to work when I've wanted a very quick kind of look. It's not taken me long to just put a crease shade, a lid shade, my falsies, and I'm good to go. And then whereas for something like today, for example, I've gone for a full-on smoky eye. Took me a little bit longer. However, it looks absolutely stunning, and I can create so many different types of looks with this kind of palette. The matte shades are buttery soft. They kick up a little bit of powder, but not too much. They're very easy to blend. I didn't find a single matte shade that was difficult to blend at all. The shimmery shades, you can apply them with your finger to build up the intensity, or you can go in with a brush and you can go in with a little bit more of a sheerer look. It's completely up to you. The palette is so versatile that no matter whether you're somebody who likes to go for more simple looks or more dramatic, vibrant looks, you will find that you can do that with this palette. So now let's go into doing some swatches for you guys, and then I can let you know what each one of these eyeshadows is about, what the texture is, what the quality is, and just so that you can understand it in a little bit more depth. So this first shade over here is called Center Eyelid. Now this is described as a light dusty rose, which is exactly what it is. Great for using on the center of eyelid, and this is a metallic texture. It's meant to be foiled, which is exactly what it is. Reminds me a lot of the original Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows, and they've got a very soft sort of finish. This next one here is called Outer Eyelid. This has exactly the same texture as the previous one. It's a metallic shade, and it is described as a medium warm grey brown. That's exactly what it is, and that's what I'm using today on my outer eyelid. This one here is called Inner Corner. Now this one has got a slightly different texture to the other two. It's actually described as a sparkling cream powder, finely milled pearls and crystals for a dazzling diamond-like sparkle effect. and it says it can be used as a topper, and it's got a sheer finish. I personally would not call that a sheer finish. I don't know about you guys. This is what I'm actually using on my inner tear duct right now, and it's a peachy champagne color, and the texture, to be honest, is very similar to the other two, so maybe it's got something to do more with the ingredients, but personally I think it's absolutely excellent and not sheer at all. This one is called Crease. So this is one of the matte shades, and it's described as being creamy to the touch and seamlessly blending on the lid, which is exactly what it does. It's so buttery soft and easy to blend, and this shade is a medium toned, cool toned taupe, and it looks amazing against my skin tone, but if you are deeper than me, you may struggle with this as it may look ashy. This next shade here is called Transition. So this next shade is also exactly the same matte as the previous one. It is described as a mushroom grey shade, and it's called the transition shade, but I'll be honest with you, I used it all over my lids. This ain't gonna transition for me or do anything. It'll just turn my skin slightly white or grey. Maybe if you've got very fair skin, that may work as a transition shade. But for the majority of people, you'll be doing like I do and just using it to set your primer. This shade here is called Smoke. This is another matte shade, and this is a medium toned cool brown. Again, beautiful to blend. I don't know if I personally use this to smoke anything out. I think it's a little bit too light to smoke out, but it's great to use as a crease shade or a transitional shade. Forgive me, my swatch is a bit patchy for some reason. It might be because that's on the bone over here and I've gone a bit weird, but trust me on this, the shadow quality is excellent. This shade here is called Blend. Absolutely stunning matte shade. This is described as a cool sienna. I'm not sure about that. I think it definitely looks more kind of mauvey brown, but I might be wrong. It might show up different on different skin tones. Again, the matte quality is absolutely excellent, and it says that it's supposed to be a blending shade. I would use this to blend out other darker shades as well as in the crease. It's absolutely gorgeous. This shade here is called Lash Line. So this is another one of the matte shades, and this is described as a deep cool brown. And I think my swatches are going patchy because I'm sweaty. I'm actually really hot where I am, so forgive me on that, but there's not much I can do. This is described as being used for the lash line. I've also used it to smoke out my eyes. Obviously, it's completely up to you, but the quality of this is excellent and it blends beautifully. This shade here is called Inner Corner. This is another one of the metallic shades. This is a bright silver color. Obviously, they've said you can use it on the inner corner, but you can use this on the lid as well. It looks stunning. This one here is called Center Eyelid. This is another metallic shade. It's described as a medium warm silver, slightly darker than the previous one with a slightly different tone. But obviously you can see it's absolutely stunning, very, very pigmented, and one clean opaque swipe. This one here is also called Center Eyelid. This is another metallic shade. This is described as a golden nude. Beautiful, stunning shade. So because obviously there are so many silvery kind of colors and cool toned, it's nice to kind of step away and maybe use something like that with some of the other brown kind of matte shades to switch it up a little bit. This shade here is called Outer Eyelid. This is a metallic shade like the others, same amazing quality, and it's described as a pecan brown shade. Then we've got one more Center Eyelid shade right here, another absolutely beautiful metallic shade. This is described as a light nude. I would personally wear this not just on the center of my eyelid but on my tear duct as well because I think it's light enough. This shade here is called Outer Eyelid, and this is another metallic shade. This is described as a cool grey brown. Beautiful colour, looks stunning on the lid. And then last but not least, we have Brow Bone here on the end. And then this one here is also a metallic shade which is described as a neutral champagne. Personally, I've used this on the lid and I've also used it on the tear duct as well as the brow bone, so it's completely up to you. So here are all 15 shades all together. So that's it for the swatches of the palette. Don't know if you guys noticed, there were only 2 types of textures in here, so it's very confusing to me as to why under the description they've mentioned all the other finishes but they've only used 2 finishes in here, because they've only used the metallic from what I can see and the matte. And only one time have they used the sparkling cream powder, but the duochromes which they've talked about are not in here. The wet powder formula is not in here either. So it's just metallic shades as well as matte shades. Not that I'm complaining, but I'm just saying, like, why put that in the description if it's something that's not even going to be in this palette Anyway, so that's it for the eyeshadow palette. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I give this a 10 out of 10. It's excellent quality. The quality is definitely absolutely amazing. The fact that they have taken the time to actually tell you where everything can go on the eyes, the fact that you can actually remove the eyeshadows and move them around, so you can mix and match, play around with it. Not just that, if you've got other eyeshadow palettes, you can also switch out and swap those eyeshadows to create your own bespoke palette. Why not? The possibilities are endless. I find holding these in my videos very difficult because I can see how they just shine off the light, so my apologies, nothing I can do. Anyways, so that's it for my ramblings. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you're thinking about getting it, unless you already have, and what your thoughts are. I will be very interested to hear what you've got to say, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.